Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Contour Chronicles Part 2, where we're going to be talking about strobing and highlighting. I'm going to go ahead and put the link down below in the little bio section for Part 1 because a lot of stuff was discussed last week that are things that are going to be used in this week's video, and I'm not going to go over it again because I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible. I went ahead and decided, because of the request, that I'm going to eventually make a part 3 on cream contouring, but that's not going to be for another few weeks because next week I'm going to be doing a special request. You know who you are. This one girl who I love dearly has been asking me for literally months to make a cut crease video, so I'm sorry it took me so long, but next week I'm going to be doing a video on a cut crease but with softer colors. So stay tuned for that, and then the week after that maybe we'll get back into the Contour Chronicles or move on to something else you guys have been requesting me for. Right here at the very top of the video I posted a bunch of different types of highlighters that I own. I have even more than this. I have a full drawer. I have a problem. So I wanted to touch base really quick about what each one of these things are. So first of all, we have our classic powdered ones, just like this. That is just like a little compact, just like you would get a regular powder for like a powder foundation. So as mentioned, this is just a powder that you can use with any sort of those fan brushes that I mentioned earlier. This is another one of my favorites, which is from Bare Minerals. I love it so much because it is the prettiest gold highlight in the world for the summertime. I actually hunted for this for months and months because I actually have the gold one in a little contour palette from Bare Minerals. So finally found this one. The nice thing about this one as well is that there's also a pink and a gold shade, so you have a lot of wiggle room of whatever you want to do when you're in the mood. So this is the Bare Minerals Ready Luminizer, and the pink is Love Affair and the gold is the Shining Moment. These two are extremely shiny, but still so subtle, so they blend very well. So you guys have seen this before from my color correcting concealer video, and this is a cream highlighter. Just focus on that white one right there. The other stuff are concealers. And this is, is just a cream. I like to just use it with my finger, blend it in, and then go after and make sure it's really blended with a brush. I use it sometimes. I mainly use this because it's white as a base for other highlights on top that aren't as shiny, just to give it that extra oomph. So these three right here are Liquid Illuminators by NYX. Even though I own 3 of them, I still don't really know how I feel about them. These work so well, just blending them in with a beauty blender. I find that this one right here, the 01 Sunbeam, is extremely shiny, works really well, and blends very nicely. These two are just more of like a hint of a shine for a day you're feeling a little bit more subtle. And this is the 02 Gleam and 03 Pure Gold. This gold color is only appropriate for me in the summertime when I'm nice and tan. So that basically touches base on, for the most part, the different kind of illuminators that you're gonna find. The liquid, the cream, and the powder. What else do I want to say about that? I think that's it for that. So moving on. Application is key with this. You want to be very strategic about where you're applying the luminizer, so that way you can avoid problems like looking super oily or greasy or sweaty or anything like that. So strobing and illuminizing is meant to accentuate those areas that you highlighted with the contouring. That being said, you're not going to apply a luminizer everywhere where you highlighted your face. You're just going to put it at the utmost highest points of the highlighted area. Sounds really confusing now, but for most people it's going to be around the same regions of your face, unlike contouring where it really depends on your personal bone structure. So it's very simple to learn how to do it, and this is a great alternative for contouring if you don't have a lot of time in the morning, or especially with summertime coming up so you have a nice glow going on. So general places where people like to apply luminizing products would be like on the very tip of your nose, right underneath your brow bone, like here. I love to put it like right here in your inner corners, on your cupid's bow right here, and on your cheeks. My sort of rule of thumb and another tip I could give you is to never apply the highlight past the center of your eye. So it should just be in this portion right here of your cheek. That's also to help avoid bringing it in too far down, because when you start putting it here towards the apples of your cheeks, that's again when you start to look a little bit greasy or oily or any sort of other shininess that you want to avoid, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, that you don't want to apply it past like the center of your eye. I also don't like to apply it past the bottom of your nose. And side note, that's a little trick my mom taught me for blush, is you should never apply blush past the bottom of your nose or the center of your eye, so that way you avoid having it everywhere. That same tip applies for this, because you don't want to bring it too far down because it'll mess with your contour. But also, as I said earlier, you're supposed to be applying this product on the very highest point of your highlight. So that means it would rest on the very top of your cheekbones right here. So you're not gonna be smearing it all over your entire cheekbone where you have all of the highlighting product. To wrap that all up again, up under your eyebrow, in the inner corners of your eyes, the tip of your nose, your cupid's bow, and the very back half of your cheekbones. All right, so I'm going to begin by taking this NYX Liquid Illuminator in 01 Sunbeam. I'm just gonna take a little dollop just like that onto my finger. I'm gonna just place a few dots on my face in the area that I was talking about earlier. And just taking a beauty sponge like this, I'm just going to dab this in onto my face. Now a little thing I like to do is kind of bring it up on the sides right here to give yourself that really nice rounded look, so when the light hits you, you know, it kind of goes up and around like this. You want to make sure it's nice and blended, no spots or anything, no streaks. This will go right into your foundation. So for the purposes of showing you how to use a cream contour, I'm gonna do that in my inner corner and my eyebrow. So just using a ring finger, I'm just going to dab that up under my eyebrow, blending it in really nicely, of course. I wanna make sure makeup's always blended. Side note, I know it looks like I just rubbed it all over my eyelid, but I was blending out the edges. I didn't have any product on my finger. Because you want to make sure it stays just right up under your brow. And we don't want to overdo it and get some weird streak. This is not the 80s. We are not about that. All about blending here in 2016. I'm just going to dab my finger right in here. You really don't need that much. And just really, really lightly dab this right in the inner corner. That is all you need, because this particular Wet n Wild cream highlight is very, very white. You just need to dab a tiny bit in there. You don't want to overdo it. If I weren't wearing a super goopy lip gloss right now, I would show you how to put it on your Cupid's bow, but it's so easy. You just either use your finger of the cream or a liquid product, or use a brush with the powder and just lightly dust it like that, bam, and then do the rest of your lipstick. Always make sure you do it before, because otherwise the highlight will like get down into your lipstick instead of just staying on your Cupid's bow. Okay, so for now I'm going to be using this tapered highlighting brush that I talked about in last week's video. As I said earlier, I'm going to be taking this NYX Illuminator, this nice really white gold one in IBB 04 Ritualistic. So just really lightly dusting that back and forth. This is also a product that you only need a very small amount of. You don't need to be sitting here swirling your brush in it. I don't know what word just came out of my mouth. Anyways, so sticking to that not past the center of the eye and not past the bottom of the nose rule, we're going to put it right on the very top of your cheekbone. Think of it as like just nicely resting on the very top right there, chilling, having a break, you know. At least for me, because of my cheekbones. My actual highlight would probably come down to about right here. But since again, strobing is used to just accentuate the highest points, I'm just gonna place that right here. And I'm going to extend it up to get that nice rounded look. Sometimes if I skipped the liquid luminizer underneath my brow, or I like the cream one, I use the cream one, what I'll do is take the very, very little tip of this brush, just like that, lightly dust, and we'll bring that up under my brow, avoiding my actual eyebrow so that way the dust doesn't get in the hair. I'll just do it like that, and I'm bringing it back down and connecting it to the top of my cheekbone. So again, that way when you turn your head sideways, you get this nice rounded look like this. It looks very natural in my opinion, instead of having like a bunch of streaks of highlight everywhere. So I'm just gonna finish up the other side really quick so you can see that. Again, for all these contouring videos, like I said last week, I'm gonna keep everything in real time when I normally like speed it up just so you guys can see what I'm doing, because this is more complicated than just blending eyeshadow out. You see that took like 30 seconds, and that's what I do in the mornings. Alright, so the very last little bit that I do is just dust a little bit on the center of my nose, and what I just applied, that's all I do. And I just use excess that's already on the brush from doing my cheeks. I don't dip it back in because I personally don't like having a really shiny nose, because I feel like that adds to the oily, greasy look. So just a little dab like I just did, and bam, done. And then lastly I would go and do the Cupid's bow just like that. But I'm wearing really goopy lip gloss. So after I'm done strobing, sometimes, you know, you can look a little pale, so I just like to add a little bit of color to my face. This is not contouring, just to be sure. I'm just adding a little bit of bronzer, and I'm going to be using this Estee Lauder one. I don't know what it's called. I'm just using my big fat fluffy Bare Minerals brush and just putting that right here up under my cheeks, and I like to smile on my forehead a little bit. So that's strobing in a nutshell. Way, way, way easier than contouring, and definitely a lot quicker. My personal preference is when I contour to just put a little bit of luminizer on the tops of my cheeks, and that's it. So do whatever you feel, do whatever makes you happy. If you want to strobe and contour, I mean, if you have like an hour in your day to do makeup, go for it. All right, so this right here is the finished look. Nice and glowy and super shiny. So don't forget these strobing skills, because towards the summer, which here in Virginia, it is definitely not summer weather, so it'll probably be in a couple months, I'm going to be showing you guys my all-time favorite go-to summer look, which is a very bronzy, goldeny glow, and I'm going to be using the gold and the bronze highlights that I showed you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you think that it was useful in any way, and I will see you guys next week. Mwah!